Well, I have got to use full disclosure on these things and not snowball or hide stuff. So I have I don't know if I want to call it a mistake or what I want to call it, but I just kind of want to use this as an opportunity to show people of what I'm going to do to kind of right a wrong or fix an error on my build. So yesterday I talked about the transom not going in as easily as I had liked. The plans call for there's a scribed mark in the delta pad in the bottom that locates your transom. So I'm going to put the phone over there and see if you can see it. I don't think you'll be able to. Let's see, it's right down in there. If you look closely, there is a scribed line, and the transom, the inside face, is indeed right where it's supposed to be, right on that line. So that, without having the pump in the Skookum kits, you use the pump to locate the transom essentially, because they CNC cut the intake hole out. And you put that in there, and then you butt the transom up against that, so it locates it for you. So that's kind of nice. This is different. So something that I also kind of thought is like, okay, I got about an inch and a half overhang. That's kind of a typical distance, I would say. But again, I was just solely going off of that scribe line, and the transom is right on it. I took my time and made sure that thing was spot on. So let's see. So then you put, everything goes in off there. So your longitudinals, those go off of your transom location. Your extended chines, those go, there's a no-brainer because those are in there. Those things all went in real nice. Now you go to put on the side, okay? And it was really nice having my brother here to help me. So the sides all went on. You can see them all look great. The seams are all nice and tight. But when I got up here to the front, here is a little piece of, oh, I got that thing backwards. Now, what do I got going here? There's about that much extra hanging up here, like so. You can see that. So there was no way that I was gonna, that I had that messed up enough that was gonna work. So I immediately knew, the transom was too far forward, even though I was right on that scribe line. So it's pretty easy to just take and slice these things off, but now you're kind of opening up a can of worms, and it's gonna be kind of a domino effect, if you will. So I had two options. I could cut that off and kind of deal with the consequences of what that's gonna do to the deck, what that's gonna do to, if the engine is gonna be a little bit further forward, those kinds of things. So I had two options, and I had one side completely on when I found that, the starboard side. I'm gonna have to cut that whole side off, and I'm gonna have to cut the transom back out. And I was like, oh my God, that's gonna be a ton of work and a ton of repairing. I'm gonna lose a good solid half a day of work to do that, if not more. And I'm still not gonna know exactly where that transom is supposed to be because of, I don't have that scribe line. I'm on the line already, so what do I do? So I opted to just cut these the little pieces off of the bow, off of the uppers. This is the little part that, see if I'll cut that little piece off of there. So I cut about anywhere from 3/4 to 1.25 inches off of those things to make them fit. The good news is, hey, this stuff is all nice and lined up. It's all nice and good. Every seam is super, they turned out really great. Super happy with that. But now what happens? So now the bow deck doesn't fit right. It fits beam-wise. It fits, of course, that's going to be, the width of the boat is going to be the width of the boat. And it fits nice up to about here, about 18 inches or so, okay? But then as it gets up here, just think about this, the whole side is kind of pushed too far forward, so it's going to affect that bow deck. So what do? So it's very easily to just lay the deck on here, scribe a line under it, and cut it out and trim it out, and it'd be super easy to get that to lay in there, and you could get it nice edge to edge joint all the way around, welded together, and call it good, right? Wrong. You can't do that because you no longer know if your boat is symmetrical or if there's a twist or anything. And that's the beauty of these kits. If you put everything edge to edge, it takes all that stuff out of there. Not to say you still couldn't get a twist in there. Because there's nothing like, watch when I take this, I can lift up a side of the boat and that one doesn't move or whatever. I can pull it down. You can kind of see it twisting if I pull. You're not guaranteed that this is right here is 100% symmetrical. So here's what I did. I threw up the bow deck. I put it nice and square back to where the end of the gunnels are, got it in position, and then I scribed 2 lines, like I said, and here's what I came up with. So I came up with one was gonna be a little bit in, the other one was gonna be a little, not quite. So I kind of had to choose. And also here's my marks over here where I knew it fit good on both sides up to there. So I measured what that is from there to there, matched it over there. So then I'm gonna say, okay, that's my good starting point, okay? And I had about 3/4 or an inch of overlap here. So I said, okay, I'm gonna to make this symmetrical, drew my center line, drew that in there, and then got a nice arc, just use my long ruler to scribe this arc. So now what do? How do you get that to match over there? That's tough if you're trying to get something symmetrical that may not be symmetrical. So I know that this is gonna fit, right? So I just took a measurement every 2 inches. Every 2 inches I went around there and transposed what that gap is, and it goes narrow, gets a little bit wider, and then obviously it tapers off down here. So, and then I just transferred that over there, and now I have a nice symmetrical bow that I just got to cut that out and throw it up there. And I'm probably still going to have to pry and bend and pull the uppers to fit that. But I'm okay with that because it's going to be symmetrical. I know that. Anyway, I just thought I would share with everyone that, hey, I make mistakes. I don't know if I want to call it a mistake. I don't know if that scribe mark on the bottom plate was in the wrong spot or what the case was, but I have no doubt in my mind that something was wrong because, like I said, it was a good solid inch off, and there was just no way to force that. There wasn't anything you could do. So, like I said, make mistakes or something is off, there's a way to fix it and a way to fix it right. Like I said, it's been very easy just to plop the bow lid on, scribe each side, but they're going to be different then. And then your boat's not going to be symmetrical, and you could get a twist and not even know it because they're not going to be the same because you don't have a jig. It's not permanently affixed to anything while you're doing this. It's still very fluid. The hole is still very much movable in this position with everything tacked into this at this point. So that's how I fixed it, is trimmed it off, made those bow pieces fit, and then I'm going to trim, what do you want to call it, symmetrically off of the bow deck lid, and off I go. That's it. That should be the only thing that's going to be affected. If the transom's too far forward a little bit, I'm not too worried about the intake ring and all that kind of stuff. I will deal with that further down the road. But full disclosure on what I did, how I recovered from it, and I'll update here. I think I'm going to take the day off tomorrow from the boat, and we'll get going on cutting that deck lid nice and clean and straight and get that thing on there, and I'll show everybody how that turns out. Hope everybody has a good one. If you like these videos and like what you're seeing, make sure you hit that like button. That's great. And also subscribe. I think our subscribe numbers are going up slowly, and I'm just going to keep doing these kind of one-off, no editing, just throw up a little recap each day. Again, thanks for watching.